What is going on, guys? It's Dan the Man, aka Daniel's son, and we are back for another movie review. I am reviewing Nomadland. I'm wanting to watch this film. It's on Hulu at the moment, so if you guys want to go check it out, I'm already going to give it my rating, and I'm going to say it's either recommend or not recommend. And I highly recommend this film. There was a lot of Oscar nominations, Oscar wins, first time director. Love going into a film not knowing what really it's about, so I can really get a fresh mind going there, seeing from beginning, middle to end. And this movie, I have to say, I was so refreshed because it's an idea. It's something that is going on, or absolutely people are doing what these characters are doing in this film. The nomads are basically people who either, most of the time, it seemed like the movie was presenting there are a lot of elderly people, people who have lost either their job, lost a loved one, a significant loved one, trying to find themselves, trying to find inner peace a little bit. They're not necessarily, they're homeless, but they're not like living on the streets. They're living in their vans. These are people who get a van. They do whatever they need to do to make their van into like their mobile home. And I was such an intriguing, I never really heard about this. So watching this and watching our main character, or our main person that we follow, Fern, she's such a realistic character in this movie. Everybody in this movie is super realistic. At one point, the film, it doesn't give you like your, you would think the safety would be a thing once living by yourself in a van, going place to place, sleeping in the cold weather. Like you would think robbery or any like something escalating throughout the film, but it never gets to that point, which I appreciate. But you would think that the film would be, I feel like the film, it's something that people will not expect. And sometimes that's a good thing. I thought that was a great thing in this film. This really felt like, of course, it's beautifully shot. There's some beautiful scenery, beautiful imagery, beautiful sound, the soundtrack, with a lot. I love piano scores, so there's a lot of nice piano scores in the film. There's a beautiful, of course, shots of, because what Fern does is she's going from place to place, working from job to job. Her main job's Amazon, but it's a seasonal job. There's this meetup that all the Nomadlands kind of meet up. They all tell their stories. It's kind of like a gypsy camp a little bit, but then they kind of disperse and they do their own things. There's relationships that gets formed throughout the film. I love the character Swanky, Mary, I think it was Mary Lou or something like that. She's great. Like anybody that Fern develops relationships with, especially Dave, like it's very intriguing. It's an intriguing because it's us. It's when watching the film, it feels so grounded and realistic, especially with a lot of the conversations that are happening with all these characters that she's interacting with. And Fern herself, Fern is not like, she is a person. I felt like she was a genuine person. She, could get angry. She could get happy. She could tell jokes. She could have like little quirks to her. Like she is a fantastic character. I absolutely enjoyed seeing the process she was going through from beginning, and how she ended up living in a van, and how she was new to the game, and how she was learning all she needs to learn throughout doing what she was doing, and the relationship she had in the past with her family and what was going on there, and then the relationship that she was forming as she takes on to this new adventure. So I thought it was a great just character piece, and this film really reminded me of like a documentary type deal, but it's not a documentary. It's a film, but it felt like that. It felt like we were watching a real person, a real footage, real raw emotions throughout the film, which I absolutely enjoyed. Like I never got bored in this movie. There might be a couple spots, where I believe her name is Chloé. She is a wonderful director. I like her sense of eye. It's interesting how she edited this film, because a lot of things, like there's a lot of scenes where Fern will go bye, and it kind of just like cuts. Like it's like the quirks, right? And the cutting in this is really, you think it would build up to something crazy, but it doesn't. It's just kind of like, it's just a scene where it's two people talking. and you think something's going to build, but it cuts to another scene where, Fern is kind of like just looking around the house, touching things and stuff. I never felt bored in the film. I think I would have cut the film a little bit down. It's the length. It's not bad for a one-time, watch. But if you want rewatchability, I would have cut the film a little bit down, a little bit more. There is some scenes, even though they're beautiful, it gets a little bit too much of gets a little too artsy, let's just say. And I think we get the point of what the director was trying to tell us in the beginning. You don't have to continue to do that. But overall, I mean, I thought, other than maybe I would have cut it down a little bit, I think the pacing was okay. It was fine. Is definitely a character piece type film, and it works because of the performances, because of the situation they're in, and because of the uniqueness of this film. This film really, really, really works. So I could see why this was getting nominated and winning a lot of Oscars, winning a lot of awards, because it is a beautifully laid out film when it comes to the shots, the direction, the characters, the performances. The soundtrack is really good. I didn't think I was going to get invested in some of the secondary characters, but I end up getting invested, and I end up wanting to know, where do we go later on? There was a lot of things I was expecting to happen, but it's a smarter script than that, where they kind of said, no, yes, this could happen in a certain way, but it's not going to happen in a certain way. You think something's bad's going to happen, or something, death might happen, but no, we're going to showcase this like what would happen in the real world. Because a lot of times films will Hollywood it up, where they will bring a lot of these hurdles in, and then you're just kind of like, okay, this is or villains, or just dire situations, survival instincts. You think this is going to be like a kind of a survival film, but it's not. It never gets that way, which I really, really appreciate. This film sets a tone, and that tone stays throughout from beginning to end, and I was digging it. I was loving the vibe of this film. So Nomadland it's a type of film. It's kind of like, if I had to say, with Frances McDormand, she did 3 Billboards as well, and it's kind of like that film. It's kind of like An Old Country for Old Men too. It is similar to that. It's similar where you could tell this is a lot of thought research was put into this. There's a lot of things you learn from this movie about the nomad life, and you appreciate it. It really feels like kind of like a gypsy, hippie kind of feel to it. But then you get parts where it's ugly sometimes, it's cold, it's you questioning some of the decisions you're making if you were put in that shoes. So I love that. I love that thing, having to think that way, asking those questions, and it was laid out. And Fern is such a beautiful character to go throughout this process with, because it feels like a real character. It feels like somebody who has a lot on her mind, but she's free, but she's not free. She's trying to let it all go, but she can't let it all go. This character is the best character, the best well-written character I've seen in a very long time, because of how much of realistic, and how this is like the realest movie I've seen a lot. And I miss those films. I miss films like this. I miss films where we're more of a character study, more of a character, what will they do, or how they are in a situation, and learning something new. If you present a movie that's something I don't really know about, that's the best, because then you are following this character, but you're following the story, and you're learning yourself, and and if it's a very intriguing and interesting premise, then you're going to go along with it. If it's an intriguing just overall things that they're doing, you're going to go along with it. So Nomadland, I absolutely enjoyed. I thought the performance were fantastic. I think I believe this is the first time for the director's first film. Not sure. She's doing the Eternals, but this was a great film. She handled it really, really well. I can't wait for more of her work. Frances McDormand, always she was amazing in this film. Her acting was stellar. I believe she was a producer in this film as well, and she won the Oscar for producing this film as well. Highly recommend it. It's on Hulu. Go check it out. But yeah, man, guys, that was my review on Nomadland. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Have more movie reviews, TV reviews, and all these crazy other reviews, so you can go check it out. Call it the pop culture channel, basically. Like the video to support this channel. More likes, the more it keeps growing, and the more the words keep spreading. And go ahead and tell your friends and family as well. You can find me on Instagram at Dan Demand Reviews, Twitch at DMan80528. I'm never on it, but you can go over there and check it out too. I do got, I think, one upload on there. And yeah, guys, Nomadland. Let me know what you guys thought. If you've seen the film, and does it deserve Best Picture? Let me know. So like I always say, grab a tick, grab a seat, make sure you got some good popcorn to eat. I'll see you at the cinema, guys. Bye-bye.